Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the 6th elementary grade. Our textbook is Weekend 3 and today inshallah we will cover Unit 11, Hanging Out in Town, Reading and Writing on page 86. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Al-Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Aqil. So let's begin. Quick revision in our last lesson. In our last lesson, we did learn how to use the going to when we are talking about the places we want to go to. We said that if you want to talk about the different places you want to go to, it is important that you use this phrase, going to. For example, you start with yourself. I am going to the school. Or I am going to my friend's house. Or I am going to the supermarket. So we said that if you want to talk about places, the places that you are going to, it is important that we use this phrase. We start first with the subject, I am, he is, or she is, or they are, or you are, or we are going to. So let's remind ourselves with some of the examples that we have learned from last lesson. So I'm going to read this example. I would like you to listen and preferably if you say them after me. So let's start with the number one. Number one, I want a stapler and staples. I want a stapler and staples. So, if I want staplers and staples, then I am going to the stationery store. I am going to the stationery store because I want staplers, I want staples. So, at this case, or in this case, I am going to the stationery store. Now let's listen for the second sentence. The second sentence is number two. You want some candy. You want some candy. Now, if you want some candy, then you are going to the candy store. If you want some candy, then we can say you are going to the candy store. This is about the second sentence. Now let's listen to the third one. The third sentence, number three. My brother wants a new DVD. My brother wants a new DVD. So, if my brother wants a new DVD, so where should he go? Well, he is going to the DVD store. He is going to the DVD store. Now the fourth one. Mom wants some bread and cakes. Mom wants some bread and cakes. So, if my mother wants some bread and cakes, where should she go? Well, she is going to the bakery. She is going to the bakery because she wants some bread and cakes. Number five. We want some books. We want some books. So, if me and you want some books, where are we going? Well, we are going to the bookstore. We are going to the bookstore because we want to read and buy some books. And number six, Grandma and Grandpa want some flowers and pots. Grandma and Grandpa want some flowers and pots. So if my grandpa and grandma want some flowers. Well, guess where are they going? They are going to the flower stores. They are going to the flower store. So, in these 6 sentences, we listen to different examples about different people and where are they going to buy each of these items that they need. For example, with the first one, number 1, when I say stapler and staples, then in this case, I need to go to the stationery store. And when we talk about where to get some candy, we said that they are going to the candy store. And also when we talk about my brother wants a new DVD, we said that he is going to the DVD store. And when we talk about my mother, when she wants bread and cakes, that she is going to the bakery. And also when we said that we want some books, then we are going to the bookstore. And finally, when we say my grandma and grandpa want some flowers, then at this case, they are going to the flower store. So what is important here is that we know how to say that we are going to a certain store. Not only about ourselves, but also we can use it with different subjects. For example, we use it with myself. When I talk about myself, I am going to the supermarket. Or we can use it when we talk about you. When we say, you are going to the supermarket. Or we can use it even when we talk about someone. We can say, he is going to the supermarket. Or she is going to the supermarket. Or when we talk about myself and you, we will say, we are going to the supermarket. And finally, when we talk about other people, not me and not you, we will say, they are going to the supermarket. So this is how we use these going to in different sentences, also with different subjects. Not only this, but we said also that to make this more interesting, we can play a game. And we can we can call this game a shopping game. For example, here in the shopping game we said, can you play the shopping game and beat a partner? Can you play the shopping game and beat a partner? So as you can see here in this table, we do have 9 different stores. For example, we have bakery, we have stationery store, we have coffee shop, we have DVD store, and bookstore, flower store, butcher shop, convenience store, and supermarket. So we said that if we have this list of different stores and different places, then you and your partner, maybe your classmate from your school, or maybe a family member, or even maybe one of your friends, to gather together and have a look at this table. So you start the question, where are you going? You start to ask your partner, where are you going? And he or she will choose a place, for example, and their answer must start with I am. I am going to the bookstore, or I am going to the supermarket, or I am going to the bakery. So he or she must choose a place and start their answer with I am going to. And after this, you'll ask them another question, which is, what do you want? Okay, you said you're going to this place, so what do you want? So here we have a list of different things we can buy from these stores. For example, we have the stapler, where we can get from the stationery store, some candy from the candy store, a new DVD from the DVD store, some bread and cakes from the bakery, some books from the bookstore, and some flowers and pots from the flower store, some meat from the butcher shop, and used paper from the bookstore, and also some eggs from the supermarket. So here we have different things we can take or collect from these different stores. So you ask them again, what do you want? And they should choose any of these things that we can find in their store. And you can even switch rules. You can sit and listen to them when they ask you, where do you want to go? Also, what do you want? So let's get to know our objectives in today's lesson. Our objectives in today's lesson is that we hope that at the end you will be able to use going to in sentences and to say at least 6 names of different stores. Now, I would like you please to open your books on page 86. I would like you please to open your books on page 86. Now on page 86 we have a grammar toolbox. So here we're going to learn the difference between there is and there was. So usually when we use there is, we're talking about something in the present or in the meantime. For example, there is a rain in the sky. There is right now. But when we use was, then we're talking about the past. For example, there was a rain last week. So this is the difference between using there is and there was. So now here we have a chant that is called There Was a Little Green House. What we're going to do now is that we're going to listen, we're going to read this chant, and also we're going to chant it together. Now let's listen to this chant. There was a little green house. There was a little green house, and in the little green house there was a little brown house. And in the little brown house there was a little yellow house. And in the little yellow house there was a little white house. And in the little white house there was a little red heart. So let's read this chant one more time, and this time I'm going to point, and I would like you to follow with me while I'm pointing. There was a little green house. There was a little green house. And in the little green house there was a little brown house. And in the little brown house there was a little yellow house. And in the little yellow house there was a little white house. And in the little white house there was a little red heart. So here in this chant we do talk about different houses, starting from the big green house or the little green house that has inside a little brown house. And inside this brown house there is a yellow house. And inside this yellow house there is a white house. And inside this white house there is a little red heart. So this is our chant for this lesson, to talk about, to use our imagination and to think of these different places. And to make it more interesting, we can chant it again. We can chant it again, the house, and change the word house to something else and chant it in pairs. For example, instead of saying there was a little greenhouse, we can say there was a little green box, for example. Or we can say, we can chant, there was a little green fish. Or we can say there was a little green doll. Or there was a little green bottle. Or there was a little green book, or there was a little green letter. So this is how we can chant this chant again, and instead of using house, we can, as we said, we can use a box, we can use a book, or a bottle, or fish, or letter, just to make it more interesting, and also to help us in writing a new chant. In this way, first, we're going to imagine and think of different chant or different picture. Instead of seeing the house, the green house, the yellow house, the white house, we can also think of a green box, yellow box, or with a green bottle and yellow bottle, or with a green book and yellow book. So try to chant it again with pairs with your partner and see how interesting this chant could be. So at the end, it is important that you can read and chant that there was a little greenhouse and chant it again. So now we reach the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.